Yardy me hearties, and welcome to Project MMO Craft. That is the new name for the World of Warcraft make things work in vanilla Minecraft. We have 3 spells, we have individual players, and yeah, I think that's it. Is that it? It was difficult to make these spells. That is my excuse. I thought I've made more, didn't I? Mana regen. Well, we have 4 levels of each spells and stuff like that. We have individual players and stuff like that. So first of all, this week I want to show you the new stuff, of course. And let's go turn on the clock because it should be turned off. So we have 3 spells. It's the bow, the shears, and the boots. What are we, level 1? Let's be level 3. Well, our mana is level 3. And get us some regen, so we get our mana back. We have resistance to use the spell, and we get resistance. This resistance is 20% in level 1 for 10 seconds. Then 15 seconds for level 2. So if I were to choose level 2 and use the spell again, you can see that it's now for 15 seconds. And level 3 is 40% resistance, and then finally 40% and 20 seconds in level 4. And that basically removes 40% of any damage you take, from lava to void damage, everything. So if I would use it now, I will get resistance 2 for 20 seconds. And I can't use the spell again, and I got a nice record, which you shouldn't use, because that will... Well, it doesn't break, but you... Oh, but you shouldn't use it. It actually won't break. I can throw this. Throw it on the ground. It won't break anything. It might, if you're using multiple spells at the same time. Let's see, can't I... Oh, screw it, I'll leave you there. We have the immortality spell, which makes us, which paralyzes us and makes us immortal for 1, 2, 4 or 8 seconds depending on our spell, so spell level. So if we use level 3 and use the boots, we become immortal for a few seconds. And if you're paying attention on the right side, you will see that all these spells are actually draining mana. Both of these spells. That one drained 100, and if we use the last one, the highest level of both, and wait a little until we have both on cooldown, you will see that they will become quite expensive. They're both costing 200 mana, and... What happened? Why do I have negative mana? That should be impossible. We found a bug. Well, we shouldn't be able to use them now. Why was I able to use a spell? I will have to look into that. And we have one final spell. It doesn't use mana at all. But it has a madness drawback, which I think it's kind of a little bit too harsh. And that is the speed boost, but you will get nausea. So I will turn that off. If you stand in a portal for too long, you will see exactly what the nausea becomes. And the nausea will become horrible, especially with the speed effect FOV changing. But if I were to use this again, you can see it's now level 1, so I don't run as fast. But if I would turn into player 2, I am no longer able to use any of my spells. The clock is not turned off. There's nothing like that. I have just become another player, maybe your friend or something like that, because this has to work for multiple people and separately for each person. So if I would become player 1 again, I can use the spells once more. You can see the FOE changed and the nausea came back. And I can use this spell as well. Can use anything. And that is very nice. That is very nice. So now we get to the part where I can ask you. I am going to show you how this works, but for those that aren't interested, I will leave that for later, so I can ask you a question first. So the question I want to ask is, since you wanted to be a part of this and help me create this, I need your imagination. I sadly have quite poor imagination sometimes, and this is one of the times I need help to make classes and spells. As I told you last time, there are 2 skill sets that each class will have. I peeked at that in the last video, and it will work like this. You will select the helmet and you will get the second skill set. Let me just do that. And that, and it will change our skill set. What is going on? Let's go into game mode 1. Huh. This is mysterious. This is mysterious indeed. I'm sorry about that. I have to figure out what the problem there is. But there will be 2 different skill sets, as I told you. And each skill set will have its own spells. So what I'm thinking right now is that the Berserker will have defensive spells in the first skill set. So the Iron skill set will be defensive. The second skill set, the second 4 spells, will be offensive, using higher attacks and lower defense, because you will be quite difficult to kill with this. Especially since you can actually become immortal. And finally we have the mage. Maybe some supportive spells like speed, potions of speed, splash potion of health, stuff like that. And then offensive splash potion of damage or wither, poison effect, stuff like that. The assassin, obviously invisibility, ambush, speed things, and then the archer on the other set, being the only class that can use the bow, will get some sniping things and stuff like that. So the question is, could you help me come up with some ideas for spells? What is possible? If you're wondering that, you can go to the links below and they will show you all the effects that I can give to people and what they do, and enchantments. And you can go to the commands. The third link is the commands, and it will show you all the commands I can do with the command block. And you can like go through the effects. The effects are really cool, and the enchantments. The commands are basically what I can do is test for stuff and teleports people. But the effect and the enchantments are the really cool ones. If you want to dig deeper, you can do that. But if you have any cool ideas, leave them in the comments section below. And for those people that want to know how this works, your time has come, but if you are not very interested, you are allowed to leave. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you the next time. But after the commercial break, we will watch how this works. There's no commercial break. I kid. I kid. So these all work the same, on the same principle, and that is basically the same principle as this uses. You can see that this is similar to this. This and this works pretty much the same. So let me actually get the items and probably... Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong game mode. Do that. No! Dang it. This is not going well. Game mode 1. There we go. There we go. Annoying command blocks sometimes. Why am I getting boots? Stop giving me boots. I understand that you love doing that. It's fine, you can stop. Are you done? Thank you. So if we take a look at the spell that actually uses the boots then, since it's so eager and wants to show its stuff, you can see that we have 4 command blocks here that is kind of controlling when it activates. Once all the command blocks have been turned off, this torch will turn on, making this dropper put this item here, basically a silent monostable circuit. We'll give off a quick pulse, which will activate this timer and all these command blocks. So if we use... This is actually the shears, I think. Yep, that was the shears. That's okay. That doesn't matter. So what we are doing is the same as with the boots. They all work the same way. Again, a very long line of commands. We are trying to enchant we are trying to put the Silk Touch enchantment on something, and the shears is the only thing in my inventory that can actually get Silk Touch on it. But it's level 0, so it won't actually do anything. So this is first of all making sure that this is a person in the team P1, and I will be the only person on that team, so this will be individualized to me. Then we are testing to see if I have 20 mana. If I have 20 mana or above, that's cool. I have cleared this testing thing. Then we are testing if I have the score of B3, which is actually if I have the level, the amount of levels on the spell I have. So the spells had different levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is just making sure that I have the level 1, since the cost of 20 mana for level 1 is the case here. This is if I have level 2 of the spell. So basically if I have score B3 equals to 2, that I have level 2 of this spell, it gotta make sure that I have 50 mana to actually use this spell. Then if I have level 3, it has to make sure that I have 100 mana, and finally 200 mana for the level 4. And there I got back my shears. The game pauses when you open a command block, that's why it took so long. So it creates this pulse and goes through here, and over here it removes my mana. And this has to be right depending on which level I use, so there's still a lot of commands. It makes sure that if I have the level 1 of the spell, it removes 20 mana. If I have level 2 of the spell, it removes 50, then 100, and finally 200 for level 4. And then if I can't actually access the level 1 of the effects, but the level 2 is making sure that it's level 2, and if I am level 2 it adds resistance for 15 seconds. And if I am level 3, this checks if I am level 3, and if I am level 3 it gives me resistance 2, and this is the amplifier number. The number 1 is the amplifier. It adds 1 level to the original level, which is 1, so it's actually 1 above. If I would put 4 here, it would become resistance 5, and which is kind of confusing. And I don't know why they did that. That doesn't make any sense at all. But it's like it. It's like that. And finally, if I have level 4, it will give me resistance 2 for 20 seconds. And over here, it takes away my shears, and at the same time gives me 2265. So at the exact same time as it takes the shears, it gives me this music disc called Ward. And then it starts the timer over here, which will let it cool down. As you can see, this is a hopper timer, a basic hopper timer. We are now powering this hopper, and there's no items in here. When this torch turns off, when we activate the spell, this piston pulls back the block because it's a sticky piston. It then, oh my god, I'm losing frame rates like crazy. Did that help? That helped. I told you, that clock is madness. So yeah, and as long as there are items in this one will let this be powered and push this out. But once this is empty, it will take the block back, so all the items will go to this side, and then they will go back. Once all of them has gone back, which is very important that they all have gone back and it's ready to be used again, this will turn on again, activating these command block, which takes away the music disc and gives me back the shears. So if we take a look at it, you can see that I turned off the clock, like the idiot I am. Turn on the slow clock. There we go, you can see that it's now there, the items is flowing into here, and when this empties out, it turns around and starts emptying. Once this is completely empty, this will turn off and it takes back the thing, and it can go directly again, and it doesn't have to wait for any redstone to cool down. And if I would put less items in here, so let me do that. If I only put 8 in, the cooldown will be way shorter, as you can see. There, we got it back. You can make it even more obvious by just having 2 items. There we go. That's a quick cooldown, but I want a decent cooldown. This will all be changed for all of them. This is working the very same way. This is the bow. It doesn't have a cooldown. You can see what's happening right here. Since it doesn't cost mana, it doesn't matter what mana I have. It also doesn't matter which level of the mana I have until we get over here. Over here it does the same thing. If I am level 1, it gives me level 1 speed. If I am level 2, give me level 2 speed. I think this is the nausea. No, this is the speed. Give me level 2 speed, level 3 speed, and then level 4 speed. And once again, this is wrong. And the nausea, there's no nausea 2 or nausea 3, so these basically just kind of isn't required. No, I don't need all these. I could have used one, but now it's giving me nausea on level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4. What I could have done is just done this and remove all those, give me back the redstone. I can do this and just, I don't care what level it is, just give me nausea and it will work. So you can see I get nausea, the resistance is for the spell before, and when I remove it, this turns on, removing the nausea and removing the speed, both at the same time. Oh, now I understand why this is happening. Well, this was happening before, why I got a lot of boots. It's because if I do like this, it has a very quick reaction, so if I just scroll by it, it will still understand that I used it. And if I have boots and stuff like that already, or have too many boots or wrong kind of boots and stuff like that, it will give me the wrong things, I do believe. And this works the exact same way as the shears does. It just gives different kind of effects. But that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And did I turn on the clock again? I don't think so. No, perhaps it's killing my computer as well. So that means that it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Once again, I want your help with the spells and ideas for classes and stuff like that. I think you have some magical, fantastic ideas. So leave them in the comments below, and I shall see you next time.